Celeste.
Hello.
Oh, we're back. I'm back home now. We don't get to be together to record this one, but so today Celeste and I are talking about Roman Holiday from 1953. This is episode 38, and welcome to Classic Cinema with the Sage
Welcome.
Sisters. We're so excited that you're here. And this is a movie that both of us love so much,
Love.
and it's Audrey Hepburn's first leading role in a movie.
Right.
And Gregory Peck is her co-star. Gregory Peck had been doing movies for a while. And one of the things that you and I both talk about is after they were filming for a while and they were getting ready to do the poster and the
Right.
trail the
Right.
opening credits and all that. He said you had better put her name above the title with mine because she is going to win an Oscar. And they believed him. They did it. It
Right. They didn't
says
even question him. They were like, okay.
and it says
Right.
introducing Audrey
Right.
and she won an Oscar
She did.
for it.
She went up. And I mean, I know a lot of people, if they were to watch these classic films, would compare to people winning Oscars nowadays for this certain roles that they play. Um, if you really, and I'm sure if you are, is it called a cinephile?
Mhm.
If you're a real cinephile, which I believe you and I are, and I happen to be raising a son who is too, you notice her little nuances
Oh,
that make
yes.
it,
So
I mean,
rich.
she has all these very um subtle things that she does that just make her
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know Catherine, I mean, if you don't know Audrey Hepburn, and if you haven't seen her in anything, then you're missing out
Right.
because even if there's roles that she particularly didn't like, um, she she was just good. I mean, she brought it all to the table.
All the time. Yeah.
She showed up. She didn't just
Yeah.
dial it in
Right.
or, she didn't do those things. And that's why I think you and I talk about a lot of these films because we talk about these actors because they didn't just, uh, you know,
Right.
you could tell they were all in all the time, present. And,
Yes.
Lucinda, doing stage work and you know how important that presence is.
Oh, it definitely is. Okay,
And
so I think we should stop here and I'll do a little
yeah, do a little
introduction
intro of it. Yeah,
just in case people don't know the movie.
right.
Um, I changed the internet d movie database description just a tad because it said a different word than stressed, but I think this is really what it is. A stressed and sheltered princess escapes her guardians and falls in love with an American journalist in Rome. And the director is William Wyler. Dalton Trumbo wrote the screenplay, although somebody named Hunter, I forgot to write his name down, was the front and so he
Right.
got the Oscar. But later, the Academy presented an
Right.
Oscar to his
So there's
Dalton
so there's two
Trumbo's.
Oscars for the screenplay
Right.
because at the time
They
Dalton Trumbo was
was
under this investigation for
a
uh,
House Un-American
the House of
Activities.
Un-American Activities, which,
Yeah,
you look back on that now and you just kind of roll your eyes at it.
I
But it was
know.
the big Red Scare,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Post World War II, everyone was
right.
afraid of the Russians and
Yeah.
that type of communism and
So Dalton Trumbo was dead when they presented it to his widow, but at
right,
least he got one. And
right.
actually, the other guy, which I can't remember his first name, Hunter, he did contribute. It's just that
Oh
he
yeah,
didn't
no,
write.
he did. It's
Yeah,
not like he didn't deserve it.
right.
And I think even Dalton Trumbo, from what I was reading about him, he knew it was a collaborative
Yeah.
process.
Yeah,
And this is kind of a big deal too, because other people would not direct it if Dalton Trumbo was involved.
right.
They were
But
trying to protect themselves during this time
right,
period. And I
right,
love William Wyler. First of all, he's like, I don't care. He wasn't afraid of anything.
right.
But on the side note of that, he insisted that they film it on location in Rome
Yes.
because he
Which
too
meant they
was
had to film
kind
it
of a
in
little
black.
bit of an investigation going on with him as well.
Right. And they had to film it in black and white because the budget was not gonna
And it's still,
allow for,
and they said it still went over budget.
yeah. But it was he wanted to do it in color because, Rome. But
Right.
it still holds up. Now here are the rest of the
Right.
names. Gregory Gregory Peck plays Joe Bradley. Audrey Hepburn's Princess Anne. Eddie Albert is Irving Radovich. He is the photographer. And those three are really the heart and soul of the movie.
I absolutely agree. Right.
Um, because, well, we're with them the most.
Yeah,
Uh,
they are carrying the film pretty much
right.
throughout. And I'm I Eddie Albert is another one of those great character actors that I think watching him,
I
he and
know.
Gregory Peck were in Captain Newman together
Right.
that we talked about several episodes ago.
Yeah,
And, um, he was really underrated. I
I
don't
think so.
think he got enough credit
Yeah.
for that supporting roles that he always played because maybe he wasn't Hollywood handsome or whatever. But although I've always thought he was an attractive man.
Yeah.
um and one of the things I always liked about him is his smile. But in this part, he's, you know, he's the funny one.
Yes.
He's the one that kind of gets all the hits and has to quite literally from, Gregory Peck's
Gregory Peck.
character.
Yeah.
Because they're what it is
Wine
this,
spilt on him.
oh yeah, and coffee and oh, it's just
Right. Yeah.
hysterical. So it's so interesting how he and in this film, he's a ladies' man.
Oh, yeah.
He's this photographer, and he does art type of photography. He's always doing these interesting, they show a scene where he's setting up some stuff to do this kind of different angles on things, so he's
Right.
quite good. And you see in a scene, he's a ladies' man.
Yeah.
Women
But
are
he's
coming up to him at all times. But what's so funny is he and Gregory Peck, she it's we were, observing when, at the very beginning of the movie, Princess Anne she's, touring Europe
right.
without her parents. It's kind of like her coming out of, eventually she will rule,
Right.
and so she's introducing herself to Europe, and never states how old she is, but I'm gathering she's probably somewhere in her 20s. She's quite young.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, after she presents herself for her first little presentation, it's in the evening and she's preparing to go to bed, and her secretary proceeds to tell her this list of all the
It's
activities and meetings and blah blah blah, and she has no time to herself,
right.
and
Now, I
she starts to get upset.
she's the lady in waiting because she's a countess, the lady that's giving her the
Oh yeah, the waiting. And so when she gives her this whole list of things that she's got to do, you can see her panic. I mean,
well,
she
it's
just really kind of starts to have, and I don't blame her,
no, because
because
there
they're
is,
really doing a good
in the
job.
over and over the montage, there's this narration like
Right.
the television guy or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Like,
one of
this
the
is what
things that he
Princess Anne is
says,
doing.
but one
Yeah.
of the things he says is she doesn't she how is she doing, or something like, she seems to be standing up under the pressure very well. Well,
Right.
then we see her kind of breaking down.
Well, and then
Now,
she doesn't. Right. You're
right,
right. She doesn't handle the pressure. I mean, I know she's been raised in this environment, and, I'm sure she's been told from a young age, this is what your lot in life is, and this is what you
right,
must do. And,
yeah,
she's really given no choices
right,
as royalty.
right,
And so it's really interesting when she has this breakdown and she's just like, wow. I mean, she literally is screaming and, you know, doing the best that she can to be defiant.
right.
and so what did they do? They bring in the doctor and, she's fighting because they want to give her this calming shot, this
They
injection that's going
something
to
to
calm.
sleep, make her
This
sleep.
will help you sleep and this will calm you down. And she's like,
And
no.
there's another clue because the doctor says you um the best thing for you now is for you to do what you want to do, which they have no idea what she wants to do is escape. Um,
No, no, it's kind of like, it's like this. She takes it as, oh, permission,
right.
and I
But
think they expect her, from what I'm gathering every time I watch this, they think she's going to fall asleep like right now.
yeah,
They think
right.
it's something that's going to act quickly. She's going to go to sleep. And, they all leave the room. And I just like it too, that scene before she's told what her duties will be for the next several days for the tour. She's, in this long pajamas and she's like,
It's
I
a
don't like
nightgown.
my nightgown. I don't like can't I have something pretty? And, she's talking about all these things that she doesn't. I don't like my hair. I don't like my bra. She goes for these.
Yeah,
And, and her lady in waiting's like, these are the things that you must wear. And she's like, why? Why
yeah.
must I do these things? You can tell she's really wanting to fight the system.
Right. Now, before she goes to bed, though, we forgot about the ball, which I found out in
Oh,
the
yeah,
trivia that almost all the people at the ball were actual
they
royalty
were.
from
Right.
or upper titled people from Italy, and she is so she's dancing with dukes and duchesses and all of that kind of thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
the other thing is there was another thing. It wasn't just oh, she is kind of based on Princess Margaret from
Margaret.
England. And the people who were helping give the money for the movie said, she cannot be from England. You have to have her be from some other country.
Right.
So it's this country that's not, we don't know. They
They
never
never say the
state.
country. I was going to say that too. We don't know where she's from.
Right,
It's just, and it's not really important anyway,
right.
but there is a real story post World War II where Margaret and Elizabeth, and they made a movie out of it, where they escape their family and go
Yes.
out for like 24 hours and have fun and party. And that this is what this is based off of, is that night that Margaret and Elizabeth took off.
Well, it's
So,
also based on the fact that Princess Margaret, fell in love with Peter Townsend, a commoner who was divorced,
right.
and she was told you can't marry
Yeah,
him.
she couldn't do
So
it.
ironic that
Yeah.
her nephew, her grandnephew, no, her nephew,
Nephew.
Charles,
Yeah.
fell in love with someone who was not considered suitable. And then after she was divorced and after he was divorced from Diana, they got together finally. It was like
Well, I mean,
they
what a
woke
time
up.
change, right? A
Yeah,
huge change
yeah,
and progression.
right.
Um, well, I mean, we know the royals, whether it be the British royals or whatever, there's always scandal. There's
Yeah,
always something. But
yeah.
it's very obvious. And anybody who, if you don't pay attention to what royalty is, everything is controlled.
Oh, yeah,
There's a they beyond the king and queen or whatever that controls the narrative of
right,
their lives. And that's really what is happening in this film,
right.
is the people that are with her, because her parents are not there. The people who are with her are the ones, I believe, that are part of that team that is to control the narrative for her
Yeah.
and
And
guide her
control her
through the process.
schedule.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah,
create her schedule without her consent.
right, right.
That's the point
Yeah,
of this whole thing too, is I think part of the story is consent on what she chooses to do.
right.
And she's frustrated with that. She's in a period of her life where she doesn't want to be told how to live her life, but
Well,
she
but she
knows she
hasn't
kind of has
broken
to, and
out.
she's,
Yeah, but
she's
she
torn.
doesn't she doesn't feel confident enough to break out of that yet.
No, right.
And that's what
But
the whole story is about. Once
that's
she runs
exactly what it is.
away, she gains in 24 hours.
In 24 hours, she completely changes. It's so true.
Yeah.
And the way she sneaks out is really quite clever. You know,
Yeah.
she's able to sneak out and she doesn't know where she's going. She has
Right.
no money. She's just changed her clothes into a skirt and a blouse. And but she's not afraid. That's the other thing I think is important too, is
Yeah.
she's she's curious.
Yeah.
She's curious about everything that comes in her path. But also, it's really funny that whole scene when she's finally able to get into the city. Um, she's walking through the crowds and she'll walk through things unaware that she's interrupting things, or how she walks through the carriage and people
Yeah.
are like, what is she doing?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
she doesn't even understand those social norms
Right.
to say excuse me, or because she's never been taught that. She's never needed to learn
Yeah.
that.
Now we see him in a card game,
Oh
and
yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
he decide this is after she's escaped.
Yeah.
And then we see him in the card game with Eddie, Albert, and a bunch of other people, probably all pet press guys, which that's the other thing. At the end, all the people who were at the press conference were actual journalists,
They were
except
actual
for
journalists.
Eddie,
Yeah.
Albert, and Gregory Peck. And they are he's lost, and he has a little bit of money left, so he says, I'm leaving before I lose this.
Before I lose
And
everything.
so
Yeah.
you get the idea right away that he's always a little on the edge of not having any money, even though
Yeah.
he's got a job. Uh, and he's walking home, and who should he see but laying on a like parapet little
Yeah.
wall thing is Audrey Hepburn. And
Right.
so he tries to help her, put her in a cab, send her off to wherever she's
Well, I
supposed to
mean,
go.
her injection is finally kicking in.
Right,
And so
exactly.
she can't
He
help
thinks she's
herself.
drunk. He
Yeah,
thinks
he does. He thinks she's passed out drunk because he
right,
doesn't know
yeah,
who she is, right?
right.
And and he knows that the next day he's supposed to have this appointment to go where she's going to greet the press and
Yes,
accept questions and stuff like that.
right. Yeah,
And so he sees her, what he sees is passed out drunk, and he's kind of like trying to help her, and she's just like, and she's saying nonsensical, she quotes. He goes, well, you're educated.
yeah,
I mean,
quotes
it's kind of
poems.
funny.
Yeah, yeah,
So eventually what really happens is he gets her in a taxi, and he's like, where do you live?
right.
And and she just says this. He's like, you live where? It's so funny. And the taxi driver's like, I'd like to go home. It's the end of the night. So eventually he just decides he's just going to take her back to his apartment.
Yeah.
And that's a really cute series of events that happens in there
Oh
too.
yeah. But I love when she wakes up. No, at one point, I think it's before she actually gets, he puts her to bed on the couch.
Right.
And she says, I've never been alone with a man. And she's still kind of loopy from
Yeah.
the
Well, I
medicine.
mean, no, yeah,
I've
right.
never been alone with a man, even with all my clothes on.
Even with all my clothes on. Well, it's funny too, because you can tell she goes, undress me now.
Right.
You may
Yeah.
undress me now. And he's like, oh, okay.
Right.
So he
You
takes off
may
her little tie thing and he goes, okay, we're done. Now you can do the rest. And she's like, okay.
and he gives her his pajamas, which
Yeah.
she said she wanted to wear earlier
She
on.
wanted normal pajamas, so she got those. But it
Yeah.
is funny. There's that scene where he puts her on the couch and he goes to change to go to bed, and he comes back, or he goes to, because he
Do
keeps looking at
something.
her like she looks so familiar. He's looking
Right.
at her like, and she
Yeah.
goes, yes, everyone tells me who I look like. She's so funny about it. But he leaves and comes back, and she's in his bed.
Right.
And he's like, well, how do you like that? And that is such a funny scene, how he brings over the couch, which is kind of more like a chaise lounge.
Right.
And he brings over this couch, puts it right next to his bed, and he flips her over onto the chaise lounge. And she has no idea he's done it. She's all, oh,
She's still asleep. Ah,
But that's just the whole series of events with the two of them together. And then, you know, it's the next day, he says, hey, you can go take a shower bath thing. And then his maid, which, all of us in the house are like, so he pays rent and he has housekeeping that goes with it. How lovely is that?
Yeah.
And of course, the housekeeper sees her and tries to, she's yelling at her in Italian. How dare you be here? Like she thinks something nefarious has gone on, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
But then, she gets herself dressed and then she decides it's time for her to go. But as he comes back, she says, I don't have any money.
Well, and I think it's interesting that when he leaves, he's late for work. So he goes to work,
Oh, yeah.
and it's not until he sees her picture in the newspaper that he realizes who she is. Now,
Right.
this is
Right.
the really interesting thing about him. He's kind of ne'er-do-well,
Yeah.
doesn't
I don't think
really.
he's super responsible.
Right,
Yeah.
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 But as the movie goes on and they have their little day out with, he goes and gets Eddie Albert's character,
Yeah.
Irving,
Irving. He goes
to
to get Irving.
take the
Hey, I
pic
got
to
something we
take
can do. Yeah.
yeah. And so he's made a deal with his editor for $5,000. I'll have this really exclusive story for you. Well, of course, as the day goes along, his intention changes because as he gets to know her,
Right.
well, at first where she's going through people and not, and
Oh,
everybody's
no,
like,
it's
"What are
so
you doing?"
funny.
He's following her, and she
Right.
does things like she gets new shoes, some
Yeah.
really
With his money
cute
that he's
scent.
given her.
He's
Yeah.
given her half.
And of
Yeah.
course, the entire time I'm like, when's the last time she ate and she's buying shoes
And
and
then she buys a
she
gelato.
buys a gelato.
And
And
then she
then
gets her.
she sees the salon and she sees this woman because she's got
Yes.
really long hair and she
Yeah.
sees this woman with this really great short haircut because it's the time period when women start to cut their hair short.
It's so
And she's
cute,
like,
her hair.
I think I want to go get my hair cut. So she doesn't buy food. She doesn't do these practical things with this money. I think it's hysterical. And then it's funny too, because she sits down and the guy that's cutting her hair, he's like, she goes short. And so he goes and he measures it this much. He's got her hair this
Right.
much, this much, this much. And finally she goes, here. And he's like, okay. And at first it doesn't look very good. And he looks at it with her and he goes, aha. And he knows what to do to how to fix it. And it's just the cutest haircut. Oh my gosh.
It's
And she,
adorable.
of course, loves it. So then she leaves, and Joe is still following her because he's wants to know what she's really trying to do. Which I
Right.
do think you're right. Within that time period of following her, he sees that she just wants to be free.
Yeah.
I think these things, without any words whatsoever, that's the thing I like about it. It's not over dialogued.
Right.
He starts to see that she just wants to explore and have fun, and it's really well shot too. I have to
Yes.
say the camera work is really great because and then they had to change cinematographer halfway through it too for some reason.
Because he got
But
sick.
yeah, he got horribly
The,
sick.
ori- the yeah.
Well, and they were having in Rome at this time, I think that's what made him sick. He got heat exhaustion because they were having a huge heat wave
Yes.
during the shooting of this.
Yes.
So they were, after this guy got sick, I was reading further, they had to start being careful with everybody because it was really like above 90s. And, Italy can be quite humid as well. So
Yeah.
that was one of those things that they had to start being careful with. But
Yeah.
I mean, and then of course they just start to talk because he realizes someone needs to watch out for her
Yeah.
because
Because
she's just kind of,
she's so
oh,
well, once he knows that she's the princess, he realizes,
right.
oh, she is so sheltered that she might get herself into trouble. But I love that he's talked to Irving and found out that Irving's supposed to meet a girlfriend or something at this
Yeah,
cafe. So he takes her to the cafe,
yeah.
and with the little bit of money that he has left, he buys her something to eat. But when they come by and say, "What would you like to drink?" She
I
says,
know this is so funny.
"Champagne."
And he goes, and he goes, and this is interesting because we didn't know this, but he goes, I'll have cold coffee.
Right.
And Jamie goes, so iced and cold coffee is nothing new, obviously,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know? So then, Irving shows up, and it's so funny because as they're sitting there at the table, all these women come through and
Yeah.
talk to him.
Well, I
Oh,
was I
oh,
was gonna say he has a camera in his lighter.
yeah, yeah. Irving offers her this cigarette, and she's like, sure, I've never smoked before. And it's really funny. So he takes his lighter out and he's like, click, 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 which is quite inventive back then to have
Yes.
a little camera in your. So you can kind of tell that he's also probably somewhat of what, I
A
don't know what they would,
paparazzi.
paparazzi tabloids back then,
Uh-huh.
That's how he probably has to make some of his living. Um, and so, he's taking these little pictures over, but he keeps starting to say things that Joe does not want him to say. So Joe like spills
Yeah.
the coffee on him. And he's like, what? It's just this
Well, he
hysterical
hasn't,
scene.
Joe hasn't had a chance to tell him the whole deal yet.
No, he hasn't had a chance to tell him anything. It's so funny. So then, Joe finally drags him into the restaurant and says, listen, this is what the deal is. This is what's going on. And he's like, oh, okay. And he gets the understanding of what is really to take place, that they're going to hang out with her for the day. And Irving is to get secret pictures of her.
Right.
Well, he's like, hey, I got to go back and get like a real camera
Yeah.
from my apartment. So you occupy her, and they make an agreement where they're going to meet. Well, Joe asked her, because the guy that cut her hair invites her to this pier area where they have a dance and celebration
Right.
going
Which
on.
she actually the night before had seen from her window.
Right, she had, right. And
Yeah.
that's part of what gets her curious to go out.
Hmm.
So she tells Joe this is what she would like to do. And that's the other thing that's so funny is she asked Joe, well, what do you do for a living? And he's like, well, and then you hear this hoarse whinny in the background. He goes, I sell manure.
Which actually is a metaphor for what he did,
What he
his
does for a living.
journalistic
His
career. Yeah.
journalistic career is
Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, that's what Irving does too. We work together, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he takes her to this. Okay, we're going to meet at the pier. We're going to do this. And
Well, no, for the piers at night. So it's not now. It's
oh,
they
that's
go
right. Because
sightseeing.
Irving goes and gets his little tiny car. That car is so hysterical.
I
And
know.
then she and Joe, because he gets money from Irving, which is funny because it's the money that Irving won from him earlier at
Right.
the poker game.
Right.
And so he gets quite a bit from him, and they rent this little Vespa. And he's like, yeah, we're going to go. And it's just hysterical because they're going through town and she's having a great time.
Yeah, they go to the Coliseum as one of the
Oh,
places,
yeah. It's so
and
cool.
it's a montage of where places they go, and something happens, and there's a policeman stops them, and Joe has to go talk to the policeman,
Well, what
and
happens was Joe gets off the Vespa to go talk to someone, and she decides she wants to drive it. So she sits in the driver's seat
yeah,
and doesn't have any clue how to drive it,
yeah,
and
that's
it
what I was
starts
gonna say.
getting out of control.
Yeah, but he had to stop and talk to somebody first.
Yeah, I don't know what about.
I can't remember. Anyway, so they end up this madcap almost running into people and so on and
It's
so forth.
scary. Yeah,
And
carts are getting knocked over, and
right.
these are people's carts where they earn a living.
Yeah, right.
And so they're all up in arms, and then the police have to stop them. It's so funny.
Yeah,
So they
I
end up
want
the
to
police
say
station.
something here about this is where when she comes out the white blouse changes.
It
So
does.
she has it rolled up like 3/4 lengths when she comes out from the haircut.
Right.
But when they go onto the Vespa, she's rolled it up to
All the way up to
here.
here. Yeah.
And
Very
somehow
interesting.
it
I
must be
don't
a
know where
handkerchief
she
or
gets the little scarf from.
it
Yeah.
must be from either Eddie Albert or Gregory Peck. but she's got this little scarf that she's tied around herself, and
And I
it's
think her blouse kind of gets unbuttoned a tad more too.
yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit, yeah. And but it's different looks with the same outfit, which is
right.
really interesting.
Very interesting because she doesn't make but maybe 3 or 4 costume changes throughout the film.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
not very
much.
many. And but the I love the whatever that thing is of the seal where they put their hand in,
Yeah,
the something of truth is what it's
yeah,
called.
right.
That sequence is so adorable.
It is adorable.
Let's see you do it.
Sure. Hello.
You made it with somebody all right. You never had
I'm sorry, just a joke. It's all right.
We never had your hand. You
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Well, this whole scene up to a certain point was scripted. And this is
Right.
the other thing I thought was really great. William Wyler is normally wants everyone to stick to the script. But
Right.
he saw what great chemistry that Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck had together that he allowed them a lot of grace
Yeah.
in their improvisation because
And this
they
is
had such a natural way with each other.
one of
So,
the improvised, he
so Gregory
improvised.
Peck goes and tells the camera people and William Wyler, "Hey, I want to do this thing," and he took it from something
Red
Red Skelton
Skelton.
used to do.
Yeah, right.
And so he's like, "I want to put my hand in there and then scream and act like my hand's being taken." And then pull it out, and my hand will be in my jacket. So, because he wants to play this trick on her. So, they've got it set up perfectly. And so, her scream when all of that happens
Yeah.
is authentic. She
Yeah.
really is freaking out. She really is screaming like, ah, ah, and she's like grabbing onto him, and it's just hysterical.
And then when he goes like this, she goes, "Oh," and she hits him.
I know, she gets so mad at him.
It's so
And so
cute.
that was one shot. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
have to reshoot that at all.
Yeah.
And they do have amazing chemistry in it because it's like the three of them, especially the way they talk with each other is very natural.
Yeah.
And I really believe that's part of the reason why this movie was so popular because there's an ease to it.
Yeah.
Nothing seems forced at all. It's very natural and you believe she's a princess because, it's Audrey Hepburn and she walks with such grace and everything anyway, right?
Yeah, because she was a dancer when she was young.
Yes, she was a ballet dancer. when she
So
was young,
she's
right.
got this
Oh, yeah.
fluid, yeah. The
Yeah,
way
she
she
does.
walks, everything, yeah.
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 So, all those adventures they have. And then when they're at the police station, everyone's
She has a
there.
smudge on her face.
Yeah, everyone's there that's complained that she's knocked over their carts and whatnot and all these things. Well, Gregory Peck is able to say somehow that it was their wedding day and they were on an adventure. And she doesn't know that he's saying that to the police officer. So then the police officer is like, "Oh," and then he tells, the people
group.
standing there.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Okay, you can go." So they leave, and all the people, I love the guy that's got the white t-shirt on. He's so funny.
The
He
tank
comes out,
top.
he
Yeah.
kisses her, he kisses Gregory Peck, and he he does all these things and she's like, "What is going on here?"
Because all the
'Cause he
people,
kisses her right on the
they
mouth.
hold her hand, they kiss
Yeah,
her hand.
everyone's like, oh, they're so happy for her. And then, of course, he tells her, and she's like, "Okay." It's just so funny. And so then, of course, they go on to have more adventures. But I think it's also understood you can't do that again. that is
Right.
not safe what you did. But boy, did she have an adventure on that Vespa. It
Yeah.
was hysterical.
And by then I think it's because it was about noon or
Yeah, I think
afternoon,
so.
1 o'clock-ish when they start this whole adventure. So they get to go then to the barge where they're having the dance.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, everybody in the embassy is panicking.
Oh, they're totally.
And
She's
they
not in
have
her bed.
they've messaged the king and queen, and so they're gonna send a group of men from the Secret Service to search for her, and they're supposed to be inconspicuous, and they show the
There's
plane coming in,
nothing about them
and these
that's
guys coming
inconspicuous.
out, and they're all dressed, and they look like the Men in Black.
They do. They're all wearing black, and it's the summertime.
The same
Oh, their
hat.
hats. It's just hysterical.
They all
But
look
they
alike.
do. They're able to get around enough where two of them do find them at the dock, at the pier.
Right.
So they're trying to figure out how, because they're watching Gregory Peck, they're watching Irving. He does show back up with a bigger camera.
Right.
And so he and Joe figure out this way because she's dancing with someone else.
She's dancing with the guy that cut her hair.
Right. Well, there's a couple men that cut. Oh, that's right. Anyway, so
he's the first one that
they
she dances
move
with
in
after
certain
Joe.
way to get these pictures of her
Yeah,
dancing.
right.
Which is hysterical. And people around are like, what are you guys doing? You know? So the Secret Service guys that kind of look more like gangsters, but
Yeah, they do.
one of the guys comes in to dance with her.
Right.
And he lets her know who he is. And so obviously Irving and Joe figure out what the heck is going on. And so they know they need to help her escape.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother series of funny things.
Oh, it
getting away
is.
from those two
Yeah.
guys. And so eventually Anne and Joe end up having to jump in the water to swim away, to get out.
You're right.
And
because the police are coming.
oh yeah, the police are coming. I mean, it's chaos, more chaos that they have ensued. And it's so funny because, at that point they've had enough conversation and you can tell they're becoming very attracted to each other.
Yes.
And he
and
really
it's obvious during the
humanness of
dance
her.
when they're dancing
Oh,
together.
very obvious in the
Yeah.
dance. And so, when they get back to his place, and of course she's,
Well,
she's taking
first, then when they get up to the bank,
oh yeah,
and they're
that's right.
dripping wet, and that's when when they kiss each other for the first time.
Yep.
And I was thinking, I bet you she's never been kissed before.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. She's probably never felt that feeling of falling in love.
Yeah.
She's never been kissed. This whole 24 hours is firsts of everything for her.
Yes.
Everything is a first.
Yeah, right.
And you do see him, and even Irving for that matter, they start to change how they feel about this expose story that they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And of course, Joe feels it first. He realizes, oh my God, I can't do this story, and it wouldn't be right, because especially after they kiss, right?
Right. But also she's so sweet. She's so innocent.
She is.
He can't destroy her with the story.
Because it would would be an enormous scandal. Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And,
right.
Princess Gone Wild kind of thing, know. And she really, I think, some people would probably possibly have assumed if they had done a story like that she was not, a woman that was pure.
All right.
And they didn't want to ruin that reputation for her as well.
Right.
Because in reality, they all know, even though they kissed two or three more times, she knows at that point, and he knows that, her clothes dry, and she's got to leave. She's got to get back to her life.
Yeah.
And he lets Eddie Albert know after that, because he brings him all the pictures that they had.
The next morning.
It's the next morning.
But the really poignant thing where he drives her, Eddie Albert gave him the keys so they could get away. And so he drives her back to the embassy.
Right.
Although she says, stop here and I'm going to go around that corner and then you leave. Well, that's such a poignant goodbye.
It is. It's very sad for both of them because they kiss again, a much longer embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they never say I love you to each other, but it's obvious that they do. They know that they love each
That
other.
something was happening. Right.
Yeah.
That
And the other
something was
thing is,
happening.
it takes him a while to get himself back together so he can drive away.
Well, I mean, they're so sad,
Yeah.
because they know that it just can't be,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So then we have another funny thing the next morning when he's trying to tell Eddie Albert's character
yeah,
because his boss shows up at his apartment.
yeah. Oh my God, did you get the pictures? Did you get the story? He was so excited,
Yeah.
Didn't care that he still was going to have to pay him $5,000.
Yeah, and he's trying to tell Eddie Albert, I don't want to do this, but the boss is there, and
Yep.
it's another funny thing. But I love that when his boss leaves and Eddie and they're looking at the pictures,
Yeah.
and he can tell by Gregory Peck's demeanor, he's changed his mind, and he's all in with that.
But he doesn't argue with him at all because he's gotten to know her a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I think what's really great is I think as Irving is looking at those pictures with Joe, not only is that a communication of, look how innocent she is.
Yeah.
She's this lovely woman.
Yeah.
Why would we want to hurt her?
Right. Yeah.
And so Irving's like, it's okay. It's all right. Because Irving was going to get a cut of the $5,000.
Right.
And then they both, silently, it's like, nope.
So they put the pictures back in the packet. They go get, because they've got to go to the press conference, her last prep, because she's going to leave the next day. And they put the pictures back in the packet. And I love this whole thing because because we see her after she's gone back at midnight.
Oh yeah. And they're upset with her.
And the costume that because she looked so innocent in that nightgown before.
Right.
And now she's wearing a dark robe.
Right.
But what explanation am I to offer their majesties?
I was indisposed. I am better.
Ma'am, you must appreciate that I have my duty to perform, just as your Royal Highness has her duty.
Your Excellency, I trust you will not find it necessary to use that word again. Were I not completely aware of my duty to my family and my country, I would not have come back tonight. Or indeed ever again.
Right.
And she's so serious, and her voice in that
everything,
moment.
her demeanor changes. She doesn't act childlike with them. She basically is like, I'm the one in charge now.
Yeah. Right.
And you can see they're like,
oh. Yeah, because she's letting them know I was tempted to never come back. And then the next day it continues where she's at the press and she makes her statement and somebody asks her what was her favorite city. And of course she's supposed to give this, all of them in their way were wonderful. But finally she says Rome's her favorite. And then they're like, ah. And then she says, I want to meet the press. And she stands up to go down to meet the people who are in the front. Right. And the general and the countess start to follow her and she just stops.
And they back off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dress that she's wearing is a mature costume as well. You see
now
her
Edith
hair
Head,
is different, her transition has changed.
Right. Yes. And Edith Head was the costume designer who won an Oscar. There were 3 Oscars. Edith Head,
which, if
Audrey
you don't know
Hepburn,
anything about classic film, she was the
and Dalton Trumbo.
The costume person of all,
she did a lot. Yeah.
And it's understandable because she was an amazing designer.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So all the people that she's meeting before she gets to Joe and
because they're at the far end.
They're all real journalists that she's
she starts at one there's what 15 or so journalists, and she's still great because she takes her glove off and
Right.
she shakes each and every one of their hands.
Yes. And if she knows their language, she talks to them in their
Right.
language.
Which you see
And
that at the beginning too. If she knew
right.
the people's language, she
Yeah.
greeted them with that.
Right. So she knows 3 or 4 languages. And then I love what happens when she gets together with them and they give her the photographs. And but when she first sits down, she sees them and it's like, ah, but the way they look at her and they smile and she calms down. It's like, oh, okay, this is all
Well,
right.
and there's another really important thing as she's, she knows she's looking at him lovingly, and she appreciates Irving giving her back those pictures. Here's a
Yeah.
gift.
And but the look on Gregory Peck's face though, when she goes back and she turns around and
Yeah.
she's looking at him
Yeah.
specifically, the look between them is just, oh wow,
Yeah.
so powerful.
Right.
And but Barry and I were saying, wow, 1953, that was a really tame press conference. Nowadays it'd be everybody yelling and you
Oh,
couldn't.
no, that's exactly what press conferences are nowadays. He's so right.
Yeah.
And it was like they were so respectful of each
They
other to ask
right.
questions. People raised their hands. I mean, it
Yes.
was, yeah, very, very different. He's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think, why they know it was pretty much after Princess Margaret, because I can only imagine how any royal would feel that they can't marry the person that they love.
Oh,
And being told if it's right or wrong.
right.
And it was still happening. I mean, I know some people, I don't care how you feel about Meghan and Harry, but I mean, the Queen and his father had no issues with him marrying Meghan.
Yeah.
They were like, and they met her. I mean, Charles walked her down the aisle.
Yeah.
But then all these other, I just can't stand it when people get involved in the nonsense of it.
But also this movie kind of shows why Harry wanted to leave,
I
because
think so too, right? You have no privacy.
Right.
Plus, we know now what happened to Diana. I
Mhm.
mean, the cruelty and the invasive, you have no privacy.
Right.
That poor woman was hounded wherever she went.
Well, and Meghan even said in one interview that she really considered suicide and she needed
Oh,
she
yeah,
needed to
her
talk to a
mental health
therapist,
was
but they wouldn't.
They wouldn't let her. They wouldn't let her because that's not what royals do. So,
Right.
I mean, that's the thing about, what have we done?
Yeah.
And I think this movie, the three of us, Ariel and Jamie and I talked about it. There has to be a time, and I think we're coming to this time period where that kind of life has to be done.
Yeah.
The monarchy,
Yeah.
things like that just seem so outdated.
Yeah.
And the control of it is ridiculous. No freedom of choice, no agency, none of those things take place.
Well, and I could really relate to her when the countess is saying, and at 10:15 you're going to do this, and at 10:30 you're going to do that, and at 11 o'clock you're going.
Yeah.
Well, what probably wasn't that, close, but I could really relate to that, not having any time to yourself, because
Right.
when I was
Right.
teaching on the emergency certification, I was going to school full time, I was teaching full time, and I was directing plays. I had not one moment to myself for about a month, for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
For 18
Well, I mean,
months.
that's
And,
how I feel in my own current job right now. I don't have really any choices. I mean,
Yeah.
I've told them I need, I got my lunch, but I only have lunch to myself 3 days a week because on Tuesdays we have staff meeting during lunch.
Oh.
And, things have really been, I mean, I understand. I don't get control of who's scheduled where and when I get my admin time and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, and I don't want to do that anymore.
I know, yeah.
I just don't. And I know what you mean. Obviously, we're not royalty and we don't have these specific duties where
and that's not going to go on
absolutely-
for the rest of our lives.
Oh, right. We have a choice to step back from it. They
Right.
don't. They
Right.
simply do not.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that I think William Wyler and the writers really got it right.
Yeah. They
I
did.
think they completely got it right, even though, I mean, they just understood. They wrote it so well that, she went, wow, I don't want to, and it seemed childish, but it really isn't, because she wants her own choices and she
Yeah.
has none.
Right.
And she knows, like she said, I know my duty. That's why I came back. Because she could have easily found a way to run away and hide.
Right. Yeah, and when they want the countess, she says, "I'm okay, go away." And the countess was going to close the door to stay with her, and she said, "No, thank you. I don't need you."
Yeah, I don't need you anymore.
It's like there was a huge shift in
And you get
the
the impression
energy.
that when she goes home to, take over the royal duties, she will find a way to have more choices. I'm
Yeah.
so sure of it.
Well,
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Why did she need to have that many appointments in one day?
Well, it
It's
is ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting too. I was thinking about when Kate, William's wife,
Hmm.
she went through a couple years of a cancer scare.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great how I am not obviously within their arena, but you really got the strong impression not only was the press told to protect her, there were strict guidelines around her treatment, doctors, and nobody was to make any leaks about her care
Right.
and not to bother her.
Right.
She obviously was left alone.
She needed to be
Oh my gosh,
to
yes.
heal.
Right. And I think I really feel like some of those boundaries are still set in place for her.
Yeah.
That she is not to be taxed, she's not to be overtaxed. She is not, if she needs to arrest, she will rest.
Well, I mean, even though she might be in remission, who knows?
Right. Because they don't talk, I know even here in America, which I know they have far better treatments in Europe than we do here for cancer. But um I think it's one of those, we don't know if you're clear for the rest of your life or not. They used to say it was 5 years, but that's not even a thing anymore.
Yeah. Because sometimes it does come back even after 5 years.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
if that movie had been held now, maybe it would have been done differently. But back there in the 50s, oh my Lord, you
I
know,
know.
and I think there probably are more stories of royals from other countries that may feel the same way, and rules have been changed that we don't even know about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I don't know, it's just something about her every time you see Audrey Hepburn in her scenes, she is there's this aura around her that I
Right.
can't really describe.
No,
And
you can't.
it's there in almost every movie she
Oh
did
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think there's that with any of these
because
actors.
that's who she is.
Yes. And she showed that in her private life. I mean, I know that
Mhm.
she had difficult marriages and things like that, but she ended up, you know, UNICEF. I mean, the
Yeah.
humanitarian work that she did to work around the world.
Yeah.
And, and there's an interesting trivia in her trivia. There is, I mean, she died so young. She died at 63 of cancer.
I know. I know.
And but I learned, as if you look at the trivia for the movie, that um this is supposed to be her first cigarette, but she'd been a chain smoker since she was 15 years old.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me. I know people smoked a lot through, and people still do now, but not as much. When you hear about actors being chain smokers, you just kind of go, wow, that that must have been one of those, I got to calm myself down.
Yeah.
Because Audrey Hepburn, she's a child of World War II,
Oh my
and she
God.
went through a lot.
Oh yeah, it was
And she was
horrible.
a caregiver, a nurse in Belgium, in the Dutch hospitals.
Yeah.
It said, during the Battle of Arnhem, a 16-year-old Audrey was a volunteer nurse in a Dutch hospital, which received many wounded Allied soldiers. One of whom young Audrey helped nurse back to health was a young British paratrooper and a future director, Terence Young. More than 20 years later, Young directed Hepburn in Wait Until Dark in
Oh,
1967.
I love that movie.
I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
but that
really.
right there, because, I don't know if many people know this about her, but, she had times in her youth during the war, there was no food.
I
So,
know.
she was boiling grass and that's part of the reason why she thinks that she always remained so thin
Right.
because she never could eat food fully.
Yeah.
It's like her system never reset itself.
Yeah.
And so she wasn't anorexic or never bulimic or anything like that, but food was never something she could fully enjoy.
Yeah.
And I remember there was I think it was a magazine interview or something like that where she said, "Yeah, I think that's why I'm always so thin because I eat, but I don't eat a lot."
Yeah.
And she goes, "And I just don't know how to.
Right.
I just don't know how to."
Yeah. Well,
Um,
another interesting thing about this movie is she was she and Gregory Peck both met their spouses. He was in the middle of a divorce when the movie started filming. And he was really, if the reason he took it is because it was going to be a
yeah,
lighthearted
he needed something to lighten up his
because he
life.
was
Right.
depressed about and then while they were filming, he met his future second wife, Veronique.
Veronique, yeah.
She was a journalist and she's
And she's
French,
French.
but
Yeah.
she was based in Italy, I think. And then Audrey Hepburn met Mel Ferrer that same, I think she met him
Well,
while they were working
she
on the
she
movie.
was due to marry someone else. During the
Yes.
filming of this, her wedding dress had been made, and then
They
she
gave her
pulled out of that.
whole all the
Right.
costumes for her. Yeah.
And she's actually one of the first, she is the first actress to win um all three
Tony,
acting awards prior to the Oscars. She won the Golden Globe, she won the actors, and then she won the Oscar. And then after that, she
that
goes
same
and does
year,
a play and wins
a
a
Tony.
Tony Award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
And that's where
Ondine
she
was the
met
name of
Mel
that.
Ferrer. Yeah, that's
Ondine
where
was
she
when,
met him.
oh, that's right. That's where she met Mel Ferrer.
Yeah.
Was doing Ondine. So,
Ondine.
and she was doing another play. She was due to do another play before the filming of this one started.
Right.
And so William Wyler worked it out so that she could do that play. And then because he delayed the filming so she could be in the movie.
Right.
And the other thing is that this story went through several directors, and George Cukor was one of them.
Right.
And I can't remember why George Cukor couldn't do it or decided not to do
Well,
it.
I know. I don't think he was one of the directors that said no because Trumbo was
Oh,
involved.
right.
But
Right.
I know several other ones had. And then there was a whole list of other actresses. But what got William Wyler to choose Audrey Hepburn was he was just watching her be herself, and he went, "Oh no, she's the princess.
Yeah.
Just look at her.
Well,
Look at how
she's
she
so
carries herself.
graceful. She's
Oh,
so,
she's so lovely."
oh,
And
yeah.
and that's what they were talking about, her interesting accent that she had her whole life is
Mhm.
because she was raised, she had a Dutch parent, and so she knew English and Dutch.
Mhm.
And so that's what some of that accent was always
Yeah.
how she spoke in certain ways because of the English and Dutch household.
Right. Now, I think they sent her away for a while and then they brought her back to someplace they thought was going to be
Yeah,
safe, and it turned out not to be safe.
right. That's the truth.
So it was like, oh dear, oh
Yeah.
dear. But
I
yeah,
think about her at 16 years old in a Dutch hospital helping wounded soldiers. Can you imagine? Oh my Lord.
no, I can't imagine. I mean, I guess I would do it, but I am not a nurse. I'm
Well,
not.
and that's probably she always had that in her, and that's
Mhm.
why she became this ambassador for UNICEF.
Yeah,
Um, she was like, Princess Diana just had these natural things with her too.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
Audrey Hepburn was going to all these countries
yeah,
and holding starving children, and Diana was the same way.
right,
It never occurred to them to be frightened of people
right,
that were wounded or ill or had AIDS. Or with
right.
Princess Diana, she didn't care.
Yeah,
She was there to help people, and that's the thing that I love that she instilled in her boys.
yeah,
And Audrey Hepburn, the same with her children. Her
yeah,
children have continued charity work
right,
as well.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, she instilled that in them.
yeah.
And
So,
so that's why she exudes this grace and beauty. It's no wonder they chose her for this part, because she
right.
is like a princess.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she, like you say, I think the three of them evolved quite a bit, because
Uh-huh.
those adventures that they have with each other, and also is attributing to the friendship that Irving and Joe have,
Yes.
because they have this without saying anything. No, you're right. We can't do this to her.
Right. Yeah.
The $5,000, or whatever would have been really great, but no.
Yeah. It was like they found their, Irving might have had it, but Joe found his integrity.
Yeah, and
His-
I
his-
think
yeah.
I think his journalism will probably change after that.
Yes, I
You
think
know.
so too. Now, this is number 4 on the AFI 10 greatest
Yeah.
romantic comedies list from I
Yep.
can't remember what year, and it's also on the National Film Registry and it was added in 1999. So
Yeah.
sometimes you can see films if you go to the National Film Registry, sometimes you can see the films online,
Right.
certain films online.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this one. Although this one is probably on some streaming service. It's probably easily accessed.
We own
I
it, so I didn't.
Yeah, we do.
But it
Yeah.
probably is some sort of access somewhere.
Yeah, and
You know what?
I think
I was thinking the other day, they have the Criterion Collection, they have these AFI, and I thought they need to create like a streaming service just for those things. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that just be so cool?
Yeah.
To be able to go, oh my God, because I follow the Criterion Collection because it's so fascinating to hear what these actors love.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that'd be so great because some of them, they like films I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And all
I've
of
never
our
watched one.
films.
Those come up in my feed, but I don't watch them. I should watch them because they're
I do.
really short.
Yeah, I watched Lisa
Yeah.
Kudrow's the other day, and she likes everything that you and I've talked about.
Right. Way to go, Lisa. Oh, we should have Lisa on our show.
After what? She's our girlfriend.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Oh, our next movie, before we start doing a whole series of movies about the healthy masculinity,
Yes.
is Legally Blonde. And because I was watching an interview with Reese Witherspoon, and she was talking to somebody from the Harvard Business School,
Yeah.
who I think she knew him somehow. Maybe she had taken classes or something.
Reese Witherspoon is all over the place.
I
That
know.
girl
And they were
does so
talking
many
about
things.
her. They were talking about her 2 production companies that she started, and how how it was because it was a business podcast.
Well,
But
and they're
she
celebrating
said
25 years this year.
what?
The movie came out 25 years ago.
Oh yeah, and so one of the things though, reason I wanted to choose it is because she said that she gets people all the time, even all these years later, women coming up to her and saying, "I became a lawyer because of your character in Legally Blonde." Yeah, so it was like, oh, and when I was looking at the the cover for the second one, which I have, and I'm getting the first one, she is dressed like Barbie. It's
No, she
like
is,
a
right. And
prequel
pink
to
is
the
her
Barbie
signature
movie.
color. Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
She
That was
is
all done on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I think is, you know, Reese Witherspoon, she reminds me of female actresses way back when. And there's so many female leads, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, her, there's so many women that do their movies with purpose.
Yeah.
They don't just Jamie Lee Curtis has become this way, who I love. They go like, I love several of them are like, from now on, I'm just making movies that women wrote and are directing,
Yes.
or TV shows or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be.
And that's
I
why
won't
Reese
do
Witherspoon,
just some flighty character.
well, and then Reese Witherspoon's not the only one who's done this, but she started her business to promote women's
Absolutely.
stories and
Right.
directors
Right.
and cinematographers and,
Yep.
you know, and
Well,
so,
that's what Greta Gerwig is about.
oh
That's
yeah,
why I love her. She's like, you know, I'm going to go out there, and she and her husband are such a great team in that.
yeah, yeah. So thank you for joining us
Yeah,
this
no, no.
time. And we will, I'm not sure where I will be when we record again. I might be in Illinois or Missouri. But yeah, so join us, join our channel.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I still have to figure out how to do the subscribe button, and tell other people about it and make comments. Once you've gone to see the movie, listen to us and gone to see the movie, or vice versa.
Right.
Make comments,
Yeah,
because
we'd love to have conversations.
yeah, we would love to have conversation. And I have to check that more often and tell you, Celeste, when people make comments. But thank you, because we do have some new followers, so thank you for following.
Yeah.
And we'll see
It's
you next
growing.
time. Thank you.
Bye.